So we are in the nave, and what we're going to do is walk through what a Sunday morning is going to be like here at St. Andrew's while we're gathering in person for worship in our nave. First, what you need to know is we have a reservation system, and I know that is not ideal, but again, we're trying to follow a lot of the similar practices that churches across our diocese and across the United States are using in this COVID season. And reservation systems seem to be something that is helpful, both for contact tracing and also just helping those involved in planning Sunday mornings, making sure we're safe and doing the best we can. So that reservation system is actually going to be coming through our constant contact email list. Reverend Deacon Courtney Jones put that together, and so she's going to make a little video and explain that process and walk y'all through that, and you'll have access to that video as well. But again, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you with whatever comes up. So after you have reserved and you and your family have a spot here for Sunday worship, what you're going to do, what we're encouraging everybody to do, is to gather a little bit earlier. If you're coming at 8 o'clock for Rite 1, come several minutes before 8. If you're coming at 9:15 for Rite 2, come several minutes before 9:15. You're going to gather outside these doors. Already, you should have your mask on. Your kids should have their masks on. You're practicing physical distancing. And then one family unit at a time, or one couple at a time, or one individual at a time, an usher will invite you in and then seat you in the correct pew. And so that is how you're going to reserve and enter on Sunday mornings. After you and or your family have entered, you're going to find there's hand sanitation stations on both sides. And so you'll just slide your hands underneath here. You'll be able to sanitize your hands. If for some reason you don't have a mask, we have a table here with children's masks and adult masks available to you, and the ushers will give you a mask if for some reason you don't have one on already. So once you and your family have made your way to the center back doors at the back of the nave and sanitized your hands and you have masks on, the ushers will take you to the appropriate pew. Now, if you're coming to the 8 o'clock Rite 1 service, that's going to be a blue pew. And if you're coming to the 9:15 Rite 2 service, that's going to be a white pew. And these will be color-coded on the floor with a strip of tape. So you will sit down with your family or yourself. Again, every other pew distance and 6 feet distance apart from the other family unit next to you or the other couple or individual next to you. Still trying to practice that distancing even while we're seated. During the service, it's going to look a little different. Again, following diocesan guidelines, we're not going to be participating in congregational singing. We're going to have a reduced altar party. At this time, we're not going to have acolytes. We hope we can ease those ministries back in as it's safe to do so. Our blessings will be from the pew. You will stand up if you're receiving an anniversary blessing. If you're receiving a birthday blessing, you'll stand up in your pew. And of course, the kiddos will do the same for the children's blessing. Once we arrive at the time to receive communion in our Holy Eucharist service, that too will be a little bit different. We're actually going to have 4 communion stations for our in-person services through this COVID season. We're going to have one here at the front. We're going to have one at each transept, and then we're going to have a communion station also in the back of the nave. And the ushers will escort you to the appropriate communion station according to where you're sitting, what pew you're sitting in. Some of you will go to the back. Some of you will come to the front. And of course, those of you sitting in the transept will receive in the appropriate place there. What you do is you come up and we're receiving one in kind, which means just the wafer only. You'll hold your hand out, still wearing your mask, of course. You'll receive communion. You'll take the wafer back to your seat, slip your mask up quickly, receive communion, and then you can be seated after that. Okay, so we have arrived at the end of our service. Everyone has received communion and is seated back in their pews again. We've said our post-communion prayer, so what does exiting the nave going to look like? So what it's going to look like is, as we had one entrance, we're going to have multiple exits. Again, that's for safety reasons and just following practices that other churches are doing everywhere. And that's something that's consistently said. One entrance, multiple exits, just to allow for people to swiftly leave the nave when the service is over. And so we're going to have 3 exits available. One is the southwest door behind me, which will lead those who exit from the back of the nave out that way. And you're going to walk under the awning past the parish hall back into the parking lot. And then we'll have 2 more exits here at the transept doors, each the exterior doors here on the right and the left. Those will be opened up, and ushers will escort you out those doors as well. So 3 exits to our 1 entrance. And again, we're just encouraging folks not to hang back and socialize and tribe up at that point, but really just try your best to leave as swiftly and quickly as possible. It allows our ushers and Sunday crew to do some sanitizing and wiping down and everything and get ready for the next service, which will be gathering. If you're an 8 o'clock service and you're leaving, the 9 o'clock service will be gathering on the patio outside as well. So that is how we will exit. Again, I know this is going to look different and it's going to feel different, but this we think is these are the safest things we can do inside our nave to allow us to have in-person gathering and worship at this point in this COVID journey. So thanks for taking some time and watching this. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me and reach out.